our first guest began her acting career alongside Cher in Mermaids. And she has since appeared in family favorites like The Addams Family and award-winning dramas like Monster. And now you can watch her every Sunday night as a feisty stewardess on Pan Am. Please welcome Christina Ricci.
Everybody.
Welcome. Hi. So exciting to have you.
Thank you for having me.
With me. I'll put you on my shelf.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
So you were 9 years old when you got your first big movie. That was
Yes.
Mermaids, right? But I understand that actually your first big break or your big role was at 7, and you just really fight for this part. That
Yes,
you got
in a
for
school
7.
Christmas pageant. I was not cast as the lead, much to my chagrin. And I don't know if I did this on purpose, because I don't know how really manipulative or conniving you can be at 7. But I basically provoked this other kid into hitting me. You know, I don't know how smart I was being, but then I tattled on him, and he did have the lead, and then all of a sudden, I had the lead.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
If only that worked in Hollywood.
Well, I don't know.
You meant to do that.
I guess, I mean, and yeah, maybe I did. But I haven't done anything that awful since. I swear to God.
You haven't had to.
Yeah. You also, I'm so excited because I've just seen you in so many things, and you were 14 when when you were 14, Sam Jackson was your biggest idol.
Yeah.
And then you got to make a movie with him.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
That's incredible. That's so exciting. When you were there, were you just pinching yourself constantly?
Yeah, and actually, years before, we have the same agent. Years before, I was in London, and he was in London, and he called me and left a message inviting me to dinner, and I saved that answering machine
he's
message,
so
or that
cool.
voicemail for years. I was just like,
Yeah.
no way, Sam Jackson calls me.
Playing it for people. Now, I heard growing up as a kid, you weren't allowed to watch a lot of television, which I'm a big
No.
fan of for kids. What were you allowed to watch?
My father felt it was okay for us to watch The Cosby Show on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
And then on the weekend, when we got older, we were allowed to watch any TV we wanted.
Did you rebel and become like a major TV watching
Oh,
adult?
yeah.
You did.
I am obsessed with television. There's
Yeah.
always TV on in my house now.
I heard you like reality TV.
Love it. Totally obsessed.
Why do you like it?
I am totally obsessed.
Hey, be nice about reality TV now, Mrs. O.
So you're watching all the housewives?
Every kind of housewife I can watch. Even to the point where, like, if there's no housewife on Bravo, I will find the mob wives on VH1. Or we'll switch over to the baseball wives that come on right afterwards. I mean, it's a little base and like bloodlust
Yeah,
in a weird way.
They all end up fighting.
Yeah,
no
they
matter
do.
where they're from, they all end up fighting.
Yeah, after a little while, it gets a little bit too much. You
Yeah.
have to turn it off and do something nice, like watch Dance Moms.
I didn't even know that show existed, but I'm intrigued.
Dance Moms is good.
So you opened up about when, you know, being so young, coming into Hollywood, becoming a star. Then during your teenage years, you struggled with anorexia, and you talked about that. How did you overcome that, and how long did you suffer from it?
Well, I was lucky. I only really suffered from it for about a year and a half. And that was because
That sounds long to me.
Well, but some people suffer from it their entire lives, or, you know, 10 years, or much longer amounts of time. But I was put into therapy very quickly, so I was able to
Was it
overcome
because of the pressure in Hollywood, being thin and beautiful?
Well, I think it's just, it's awkward to kind of go through puberty and go through growing up and becoming a woman when everybody's always kind of looking at you, and especially you're doing fittings for a movie and people are judging how this looks on you or that looks on you, and you just get very uncomfortable, and you never want anyone to be able to criticize you.
So what advice would you have for teenage girls that are going through an anorexic period or a bulimic period?
I would say that if you feel like you're starting to obsess too much about the way you look, then definitely get some kind of therapy or help very quickly, because that can just grow into an obsession that you can't control.
More with Christina Ricci when we come right back.
I wish there were an easy way.
It's the signal. I'm giving off the girl signal.
From Pan Am, and we're back with Christina Ricci. So, Christina, the show follows a group of stewardesses from the 1960s. What were the requirements to be a stewardess back then?
Well, when we were cast, we were handed like an old pamphlet from that era, from 1963, and it's really amazing the things that were put down in writing, like your height requirements, your weight requirements, the beauty requirements, and actually what's really funny is that I'm not tall enough to be a stewardess. It's between 5'3" and 5'10", and I'm only 5'1". So when they were casting me, they were kind of like, well, she's not actually tall enough. So, because they want to keep everything very true to, you know, real life. So I'm the only girl that wears high heels.
Platforms.
And at first the other girls were like, why do you get to wear high heels? It's so unfair. And I was like, guys, really? It's because I'm almost a dwarf.
And
so.
then but you had to cook a whole entire meal. Like they had stoves and everything.
And there's all this. There's special ways of serving.
They used to do carving on the planes, and
there's a special way you hold the fork, and a lot of us, you know, we'll have to do all the background serving stuff while a scene is going on, like down on the other end of the plane. So anytime I have to do background work, because apparently I wasn't really meant to serve things. I learned very quickly to roll out the cart and whisper to the extras, like, just grab a roll. Just take what you want.
Aren't there also special underwear where they have to wear some special underwear?
Oh, yeah. And the other requirements, you have to wear a girdle, which is, at first we were like, this is fun, a girdle and a long line bra, which is basically a bra with a corset attached to it.
Oh, I wear those.
And stockings that like clip on. And at first we were all like, this is so amazing. Look at the shape it gives our bodies. And then after about a day, we were all like, we can't pee. Like, if I go to the bathroom, I need someone to come and help me put this back on. You've never experienced like less of a sense of freedom in your life.
Can you just like flying with all that stuff on, though? You must be like this the whole time.
Or falling down and trying to get back up when you literally cannot bend at the waist.
Oh my God. Now,
It's
is it
really
true
funny
that when you personally travel, you make an obsessive list of what you need to pack?
Yes,
and
I
do?
make packing lists.
And how comprehensive does it get?
Well, it's basically like my short sleeve striped shirt, my polka dot shirt, my navy button down, and then I'll just go through and be like, check, check. It gets very detailed.
Why so?
You have OCD.
Why so crazy though? Why so?
Well, because I find it so stressful, the idea of getting to the airport. Like, I love flying, but it's the getting to the airport and being afraid that I won't have everything I need and that something will happen along the way, that I feel like if I can just make sure I've got everything I need in my bag, then I'll be okay.
Overpack, though?
Well, unless I make the list.
Oh.
If I make the list, there's no overpacking.
Oh, I'm like, it might rain, it might snow, put everything in.
Yeah, the list helps with
What
that.
do
try.
today's flight attendants think of the show? Like they must say to you when you're flying.
They all seem to like it a lot.
And they're not offended. I mean, it was called stewardesses then, but you can't use that term now. It's not considered politically correct. When did it all change?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when it changed. I would imagine it happened, you know, in the 70s during the sexual revolution.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because also we think about flight attendants, we'll still refer to them as stewardesses, or they think about them like, this is the person who brings me a soda, this is the person who brings me a pillow, but really, there's safety staff. They're there to make sure that the people on the plane fly safely and can evacuate safely. Was it the same?
And the training that goes on for all of that is really intense.
I was on this flight once, and I'm sat next to this guy, and he was just like out of his mind. Wasn't my husband, but anyway. This guy goes, waitress, waitress. I'm like, are you crazy? or something? Waitress?
Rude.
Yeah.
Have you guys gone through
buffoon.
some of the training in the context of preparing for these characters, the safety part of the job?
Not so much, no. We were more taught what would have been the traditional style of serving, which
Right.
I failed at. The other girls learned how to napkin fold and all that stuff, and I kind of was like, well, you guys can do that and teach me later. And when we would wear our hats and when we would take our gloves off and how we greet passengers and all that kind of stuff.
There is a certain elegance to that era.
Yeah, we were taught all the etiquette kind of things.
And your character was which one was yours? The rebellious one?
Mine is the rebellious one.
Yeah.
I get to take my girdle off all the time.
Now.
Christina Ricci, everyone. Christina, thank you. Pan Am airs Sunday nights at 10 o'clock on ABC. We'll be right back.